I'm gonna walk in the Spirit every day. I'm gonna walk in the Spirit every day. I'm gonna stand in truth, I'm gonna be light, I'm gonna claim my power day and night. I'm gonna walk in the Spirit every day. I'm gonna walk in the Spirit every day. I'm gonna walk in love every day. I'm gonna stand in the truth, I'm gonna be the light, I'm gonna claim my power day and night. I'm gonna walk in love every day. I'm gonna walk in peace every day. I'm gonna stand in the truth, I'm gonna be the light, I'm gonna claim my power day and night. Walk in peace every day. We're gonna walk in the Spirit every day. I'm gonna walk in love every day. We're gonna walk in peace every day. Thank you, Robert, for helping out.
Thank you, music team. I love that song. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Little Rock. October 21st, I believe it is. We're only 10 days away from Halloween. Is everybody ready? So, yeah, get our mask on and get ready to have some fun. So I'm really glad everybody's here today. I have a question for everyone. Be honest. How many people have bought lottery tickets this week? More? What? Just a few? Y'all do know it's up to $1.5 billion for the Mega Million. And then when you add in the Powerball, it's like 600 million. So I've got a Mega Million and I've got a Powerball ticket, and I recommend you buy one too. And I'll tell you, if I win that Mega Million, if I win that Mega Million, if I win the Mega Million, $1.5 billion, I will make this pledge to each and every one of you that are here this morning. I will gift you $10,000 apiece. Okay, so y'all be praying that I win. Okay. If I win. Now, they were saying on the news this morning, they were like giving the odds of winning, you know, and they said like your chances of getting killed in a vending machine accident are greater than winning the Mega Million jackpot. So I don't ever buy anything from vending. So this week I'm going to be buying things. I'm going to go be putting quarters in vending machines. Saying, come on. They also said your chances of being named a saint are greater than winning the Mega Millions jackpot. So I think I'm way beyond sainthood. So y'all, don't count on the 10 grand, okay? Because it's probably not going to come. Yeah, Lewis. Ticket. $3 with the multiplier. $3 with the multiplier. So yeah, I've actually bought one. Anyway, you know, it's a fun thing to do. I'm not really into it, even though it does support our students and our Arkansas colleges, which they just keep raising tuition. But anyway, but when it gets that high, you know what they say? You got to play to win. You know, if you don't buy a ticket, you can't win. And that's kind of a metaphysical principle there. You know, how often do we say, oh, you know, God, bring it to me. Bring me my job. Bring me my job. I want the perfect job. And I've had an experience with someone like this. I'm praying, I know God's going to bring me the perfect job. I said, well, tell me, where have you applied? Well, I haven't applied anywhere. It's like, well, wait a minute. God will do his part, but hey, I got to do my part. And my part is I got to go buy a ticket and, maybe not. So I'm glad everyone is here. And I want to just kind of open just briefly, with the first couple of lines of the invocation that, we are the presence of pure being, emanating the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. And what I would like for you to do now is to take that pure being, stand up, and go greet another presence of pure being and say hi to each other for our meet and greet. So.
Good morning, pure being. Good morning. Good morning, pure
Good morning,
being.
presence of pure being. Yeah. Hi, I'm Travis.
I'm Glenda.
You look familiar.
I've been here, but it's been in the spring.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you came back, Glenda. So, yeah. You're a presence of pure being. Did you know that?
I did.
Good. Deb, presence of pure being that you are. So, Glenda, yeah.
Robert, run away.
Robert, you feel up to rush hour with people?
Look at that. I'll sit at the piano.
Let's see.
This is D. D.
Shower the...
Oh, yeah. You know this one? Saw Robert walk in this morning. I said, you're going to have to help sing because I got frogs in my voice. So he's being a sport and he hasn't practiced rehearsal
No
or
practice.
anything. So
Zero rehearsal.
Thank you.
well, you can play the game. Help me out, Robert. You can act out part. Though you know it wasn't written for you. How can you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? And Dave's gonna help. One thing can lead to another. Sacrifice. Here we go.
Father and mother, sister and brother,
Lazy Christ. Shower people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. Shower the people you love. Everybody out there help too, come on. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna be much better if you only will. You can run, cannot hide. This is why they go. Your foolish pride, you're all by yourself alone. Way that you feel, even when you're getting weak. It's true to say that the squeaky wheel always getting the grief. And just shower the people you love with love. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out fine if you only will. are gonna be much better if you only will. Here we go. Down the way that you feel, things are gonna be much better if you only will. Show them the way that you feel. Things are gonna work out right if you only will. We got through it. What?
That was,
That's our unity in action. Isn't that unity in action? God bless you all for sharing. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Papa. Thank you, Bill. Thank you all. Thank you, Tam. I know how you feel. Good morning. My name is Pat Walzer. I'm the parachaplain for today. Our Christ candle is already lit, showing that we are igniting that Christ light within each of us so that we can share it with our world, here in our sanctuary and wherever we may go today. Our prayer box is here. If you wish to put prayers in there, we pray over them during the week through the month. And then at the end of the month, we send them to Unity Village where they are prayed over for another month. I will be here after service. If any of you have special prayer requests or needs, I'll be happy to meet with you here in the sanctuary. Our daily word this morning is guidance. I am one with the loving guidance of divine mind. The scripture is from Psalms. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Our power for the month of October is zeal, which is very appropriately the color of orange. So I wore orange and black for Halloween, primarily orange because it's zeal. And I want you to close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath and relax. Find yourself in that special sacred space that is yours and yours alone. I don't want you to think today that you're going to sit there comfortably, not with the attribute of zeal. Zeal is the one we don't pay too much attention to, we don't think too much about. But zeal is our power of enthusiasm and inspiration. I had written a few thoughts to share with you this morning, and then as I shared, I kept getting hit in the head all night with this. I'm so excited. I'm just so excited. And I thought, how am I going to use that in a quiet, subtle prayer? And I thought, well, evidently Spirit doesn't want me to let you sit there. You may have noticed as you came in this morning, our banner with zeal shows a burning fire. And that's what our zeal does for us. It stirs us up. The bonfire just glows with excitement and energy as we get a new idea. And then it starts to slow down, and then we have to bring in our other powers to help us sustain it. Sometimes we meet obstacles, or people who may be obstacles. But that's our time to open our heart and our mind and prepare to receive what may be a new idea or new guidance as to where our path will take us. Charles Fillmore, one of our co-founders, wrote an affirmation years ago when he was in his later years. It started with, I fairly sizzled with zeal and enthusiasm. As a child growing up in Unity, I always thought that was kind of funny, because he was an old man. Now that I'm an old person, it doesn't seem so funny. But I always think of bacon sizzling in the pan and how it jumps and jazzes around in the skillet. I would like to feel that every day. Every morning when I wake, when I put my feet on the floor and I think of what my day is going to bring me. We may want to write our own affirmation. I maybe say, I am inspired. Or, I'm just so excited as to what's going to come. Whatever your affirmation is, put the life in it. That life energy that's flowing in you right now, that puts that smile on your face, that shows you the brightness of the day. So I invite you now, in this sacred space, in your quiet within, think of all the infinite possibilities that are yours. Think of all the infinite possibilities that are ours here. And we want to make sure that we always manifest our goals with enthusiasm and gratitude. And so it is, amen. And now if you'd say the statement of being with me together, I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with His perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance.
All right. Well, we're going to get back to zeal shortly, but for now, we're going to get into our meditation time with the Amazing Grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saves a soul like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to sing. Grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. My chains are gone, I've been set free. I have released the sad in me. It's like a flood, pure clarity, unending love, eternally. Through many dangers, toil and snares, I have already passed. This grace that brought me safe thus far to freedom that will last. My chains are gone, I've been set free. I have released the sad in me. It's like a flood, pure clarity, unending love, eternally amazing grace, amazing grace.
Grab one of these chairs. There we go. If y'all don't mind, I'm going to sit for our meditation today. I want to invite everybody to enter with me now into this time of quiet. I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so, and I want you to take in a big, deep breath and blow it out. Again, take in another big, deep breath and release it. And as you do so, I want you to check in with what's going on in your body right now. I want you to be aware of your feet being on the floor, grounding you to the floor, to the earth. Be aware of your bottom sitting in the pew, in the chair, the back being supported. Be aware of where your hands are resting. Look at your shoulders. Are they relaxed? If not, kind of scrunch them around and drop those shoulders down and let them relax. Bring your attention on up into your neck, into your head. And if you notice any tension or any stress, maybe you feel a little pain, just bring your attention to it. Breathe into it and let it go. Now pay attention to your thoughts. Are you aware of thoughts going through your mind? Maybe you're thinking about how you had to rush to get here this morning. Maybe you're wondering what you're going to have for lunch after the service, or what you're going to be doing later today. And whatever thoughts may be there, it could be you're worried about a loved one or a friend. Maybe you're celebrating a joyous time in your life. Whatever the thought may be, let it go. And as you sit here and as these thoughts come into your mind, into your awareness, just let them be like the clouds on a windy day, and just let them pass on by. As you sit and focus on your breath, breathing in and breathing out. The breath that connects us with the spirit of all life. And now I want you to concentrate on this mantra as we begin our meditation. Take a breath in. In purest outpoured light shimmers the Godhead of the world. In purest outpoured light shimmers the Godhead of the world. In purest love toward all that lives outpours the Godhood of my soul. In purest love toward all that lives outpours the Godhood of my soul. I rest in the Godhead of the world. There shall I be found in the Godhead of the world. And as you let your mind rest on that thought, bring your attention to your third eye, to the point in your forehead between your eyes. And let your focus and your attention rest there as you take a breath in and you blow it out. And as you do this again, breathe in and say to yourself, I am. I am. Now let your attention shift to your throat, to your larynx. And as you breathe in, breathe out, say to yourself, it thinks. It thinks. Bring your thoughts to your arms, to your heart. This represents the Christ principle, the Christ God. And imagine your arms embracing the world. And as you breathe in and out, say to yourself, she feels. She feels. And next, as we connect with the God principle of the masculine, let your attention rest on the surface of your skin. Try to imagine and to become aware of the surface of your skin over your entire body. Feel the pressure of the atmosphere against your skin, and feel the pressure of your body from the inside pushing out against your skin. And as you hold that imagination, breathing in and out, say to yourself, he wills. He wills. And as we've acknowledged the four parts of our being, the I am, the it thinks, which is the Holy Spirit, the she feels, which is the Christ's love in the world, and the he wills, which is the masculine principle of the Godhead. As we embrace those four parts of our being, we say to ourselves, my power, my power. We rest in the silence as we meditate on that phrase, my power. as we bring our thoughts back to this present moment, we turn from that sacred space. We bring with us the realization that my soul and the great world are one. And we express appreciation and gratitude for the spiritual beings that created this wonderful world, this cosmos, this universe, the stars in the heaven, the elementals of the earth, for all beings. And we know that we are intimately connected with all that lives. And our hearts are open with love, with thanksgiving, and with appreciation. And so it is. Amen.
So bring it on, everything new, everything different, and everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. But I'm through crying, and I'm through waiting. I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. I think I've finally learned to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, and everything true. I am ready for the next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Well, I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for the next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Well, I've survived many times before, broken hearts and slamming doors. I'll be alright, yes I will once more. I'm gonna rise again. So bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new.
Thank you very much. Wow, I just have loved the music this morning. So good morning again, everyone. I'm Travis Wyly. No one really. I'm just a member of the congregation here, and I see we've got a few faces that aren't here on a weekly basis. So as some of you may not know, we're in a transition period here at Unity Church right now. Our minister has resigned, and so actually this is the first Sunday that Russ has not been here. He's officially no longer with us. And I'm going to let you know that's got me feeling really sad. And this morning, the rays have been coming down, and I've been this emotional turmoil, this excitement, this energy to be here. And then this morning, what our community is going through and what we've lost. So you're going to have to bear with me. I'm giving myself permission to be vulnerable in front of you guys this morning. That's different for me. But I want to connect with everyone here this morning, because we're in a time of unity of Little Rock that we have got to stand together. And I got to tell you, I'm hopeful because the energy has been fantastic this morning. The energy's been fantastic for the last 2 Sundays when Jeannie spoke last week and Sandy spoke the week before that. So I'm very, very hopeful. And I've been giving a lot of thought as to what am I going to speak about this morning? What message do I want to bring to unity, to the group this morning? And I appreciate each and every one of you being here. And the thing that I guess kind of kept coming to my mind was, why unity? Why unity? Why am I here this morning? Why are you here this morning? And I got to thinking back to my experience at Unity Church, and I want to share just a little bit of that with you this morning. I started coming to Unity Church probably in 1994, 1995, sometime right around there, right around when my daughter was born. And, I came to Unity Church not because I was looking for a church home, not because I even wanted to be here. I came to my very first Unity service to get someone off my back. Someone who worked for me at the time had come over here, and she kept saying, "Oh, you've got to come to Unity Church. It's wonderful. You've got to come to Unity Church." And I had recently left my church home. For those of you who may not know, I am a recovering member of the Church of Christ. Okay? and I say that jokingly, but I was raised in the Church of Christ, and very fundamentalist. Anyway, you probably are aware of that. And I don't want to belittle in any way anyone who has anything to do with the Church of Christ. Many wonderful people, sincere people, loving people, dedicated people, committed spiritual beings go to the Church of Christ. It was just not for me. And I had left the Church of Christ. Actually, I had been kicked out of the Church of Christ. I got to say, be honest with you, it wasn't that I left the Church of Christ. And interesting story. And this is, so I'll share this with you. I've been sober for 27 years in Alcoholics Anonymous. And so I used to have a drinking problem, which was an interesting part of my life. And I'd gotten sober, and I had gone through the steps, and there was a time in my life where I really felt pure and clean. And during all of my drinking, part of my drinking story is I never stopped going to church. It was almost as if I had to show up every Sunday morning and get my flagellation of guilt and shame for being a sinner. And, it's like if I felt guilty enough, then I could keep doing all the things I felt guilty about because I was paying my penance and feeling guilty about it. So if I suffer enough for the sins I do, I can keep sinning, right? So crazy thinking. But I had gotten sober, and I had gone through the steps and done my 5th step, and I had confessed, and I had made my amends, and I was going to church, and it was beautiful. I got in front of the congregation and made amends, and it was just tears of joy, and they loved me, and I felt warm and accepted and welcome. And it was all great, and I got married. I met a woman who was also in the program, and we got married and had a beautiful daughter together. But soon after we got married, in fact, my wife was pregnant still, and the elders of the church called me in, and they started asking me questions. They knew I had been married and divorced, but my wife had gotten remarried, and then they were asking me about my ex-wife now, and she had been married and divorced, and anyway, blah, 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 and they started quoting scriptures, and they said, "You have put yourself in an adulterous relationship, and the only way chance you have of going to heaven is if you divorce your wife and stay celibate for the rest of your life." Well, at the age of 35, that is not what I wanted to be hearing. So, and that's when I got the courage, I got the inner strength and the courage to say, it's time for me to walk away. And so, whether they kicked me out, I mean, it was a matter, they did let me know, you're welcome to be here, but you're just going to have to sit there and can't participate or anything like that. So I left. And I got to tell you, I was done with church. I never wanted to, I was done with church. I had AA. That was going to be my spiritual home, and I was going to find everything I needed right there. So, back to my office manager who was working for me. She had started coming over here. So had Russ. Y'all have to understand something. I've known Russ for a long time. I knew Russ before he got into Inner Focus. I knew Russ when he was a scientist. He was logical. He was a wonderful, brilliant practitioner, and he cared nothing for things spiritual. And I remember when he got into Inner Focus, I'm like, what in the world is he getting into? I could not believe it. And then he started coming to Unity Church. He's the one that got Sharon to come over to Unity Church because they were good friends and she was looking. So Russ was coming over here and I knew he was here, and Sharon was coming and she kept saying, you've got to come. So I came one Sunday because I'm going to get her off my back so she'll stop bugging me about this. But you know what happened? And you can guess what happened. You know what happened. I came in and it was like, oh my God, I'm home. For the first time in my life, I felt accepted to be who I was. No one was telling me that this is who God is and this is what you have to believe and this is what you must do. I mean, there was no talk of heaven. There was no talk of hell. There was no talk of judgment or sin or condemnation. And at that time, the Quimbys were the ministers here, Doug and Garnet Quimby. Lots of love for them. And so, you know what? I came back, and I kept coming back, and I got involved, and I got active. And I remember how it felt like to be here at that time, and it was just like, it was exploding my thoughts. I mean, you have to understand, I had been raised in this Church of Christ, in this really strict, I had God in such a small box. God was just this big, and the box was small, and only a few of us could fit in it. And now, all of a sudden, Unity blew away the box. Blew away the box, and now God could be as big as I wanted it to be. And I began to study, and I began to, for the first time, to be invited, to be encouraged to explore other spiritual paths. So I began to delve into all the writings and teachings of Charles Fillmore. I've read all of his books. Emily Cady, all the great Unity teachers. I began to absorb all of that as much as I could. I began to study Course in Miracles. I was in a study group, and I've read through that. And for years, I was a student of the Course in Miracles because that meant something to me. And then Science of Mind, I got into that with a study group here at Unity Church, and that opened up whole new realms of thought for me and imagination. And I kept, studying Buddhism. I got into Buddhism. I mean, before I could never, the Church of Christ, if you were studying Buddhism, that's from and I found the beauty and the magnificence in those teachings and all the Eastern teachings. I kept growing, and I kept growing, and I kept growing, and I just kept thriving, and I kept loving it. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience. And it didn't all go perfect for me. I'd like to say I came in here and I grabbed these truth principles and I applied them and I manifested great things in my life. Because I got caught up. I got caught with the greatest trap for those on the path, a spiritual path. The greatest trap, spiritual pride. I got caught up in my spiritual pride, thinking that I knew. And so I made some poor decisions. Let's just leave it like that. I made some poor decisions at that time, and it's a universe of laws. It's a universe of laws, and one of them is the law of cause and effect, the law of consequence. And so, my life was kind of an up and down period, but through it all, I want you to know that the community here at Unity of Little Rock, the Quimbys, Russ, they held me. They supported me. They never gave up on me. They said, well, you know, you made some bad decisions, but we love you. We still see you as a child of God. You're pure, you're holy, you're made in love, created for love. And so I kept coming back. I kept coming back. And it got me through some really hard times. And then eventually, you know, as I kept growing and I kept developing, and you know, I've always been a seeker. So once I got here, I kept looking for the answer. I knew what I had been taught in the Church of Christ. You know, I can remember being 6 years old in the Church of Christ, and all the little boys sat up front, not the little girls. The little girls had to sit in the back with their mamas, but the little boys sat up front because, you know, only men can do stuff in that. But I remember being 6 years old and thinking, this does not make sense. This whole paradigm that that we get one life and we live and we die and then it's heaven or hell forever. You know, as a 6-year-old, that did not make sense. So when I came to Unity, I was really looking for answers. And that led me to my discovery of anthroposophy. For those of you who know me, I'm an anthroposophist. And if you don't know what that is, ask me after the service and I'll tell you. It's this teaching and writings of Rudolf Steiner. It's very esoteric material, and that grabbed me. That's been in 2005 is when that happened. And so I began to delve into the teachings of Rudolf Steiner, very esoteric, deep spiritual principles. And there are those here that I know have studied similar depths of these esoteric spiritual principles. And if you haven't, it's okay. It's not for everybody. My mind works that way. I want to know. I want to understand that. So that grabbed me. And it fit beautifully with what I was doing, with what I knew and what I had learned from Unity. But as I kept growing and I kept developing, I reached a point where I thought, you know, I've kind of outgrown Unity principles. Have any of you ever thought that before? I've kind of outgrown Unity. I'm going to move on to something bigger and better now. And I never completely abandoned my Unity roots. We had a study group here, and I was connected with so many of my friends and people here at Unity Church. So I never completely gave it up. But I was off doing other things, learning other things on my own journey. And things went fine for a while until, you know, I wasn't very happy. You know, I realized, my life was going okay, but you know, my relationships weren't working out well. I just couldn't seem to make anything go there. You know, my career was doing okay, but it wasn't really fulfilling me. There was a lot of things. I just generally felt that something was missing, and I didn't quite know what it was. I hadn't been to a Unity service in a couple of years at that point, and this has been now a few years ago, and I had a gentleman, a friend of mine, who was in the program, and he knew I was involved with Unity, and he said, hey, I want to go to a Unity church service. Would you be willing to come with me some morning? Well, I hadn't been, like I said, it'd probably been a year or two since I'd actually been to a Sunday morning service, and I said, yeah, I'll go with you. So I came over here, and that Sunday morning, we came one Sunday morning, and I think this was in 2014, and at that time, they had an announcement that day. This was like in March or April. And they said, hey, Easter Sunday, our new minister's going to be here. We've hired somebody because they had lost their minister back then. They'd hired somebody. He's going to be here Easter Sunday. Everybody come and hear it. So I left, and that was a few weeks away. And I remembered it, though. I thought about it. And so on Easter Sunday, I got my daughter to come with me, and we came to church, and we got to meet James Buchanan, another person that I love dearly. And wow, I got to tell you, because I was at a point, I was not happy. I knew something wasn't working in my life, and I didn't know what it was. And that day, that Sunday, it was just amazing, the energy I felt. And for those of you who were here, do you remember on that Sunday morning, they handed out little scrolls of paper with affirmations on them. And everybody came up, and you picked up so were any of you here that Sunday? And some of you may have been. And my affirmation was, I am alive, I thrive, and I survive. I am alive, I thrive, and I survive. And I want you to know, I have said that affirmation to myself each and every single day since that Easter Sunday morning when I received it right here at Unity Church. I'm a big affirmation fan, guys. I say my affirmations every day. I'm in a text group with a group of men, and we text each other. Affirmations done. Affirmations done. When we've said our affirmations during the day, we text each other to hold each other accountable that we're doing our affirmations. And I have said that affirmation every day. And, you know, that's when the James Buchanan era began here at Unity of Little Rock. And I have to say, because, you know, even during the years of the Quimby's and when Julia was here, the church would up and down, but it never really flourished like it did under the leadership of James Buchanan. He had a way of connecting with people. He connected with me. I'll never forget. You know, one day, he said, Monday, he said, hey, I'm going to come down and see you. And I said, yeah, come on down. And he came to my office, and I gave him an adjustment. We talked, and I thought, well, he'll be heading on back. And he said, well, what are you doing? I go, nothing. Well, let's get some dinner. Came over to the house. We ordered a pizza. We watched Girl with the Dragon Tattoo on Netflix, and he just hung out with me all evening like he had nothing else better to do than just to be with me that evening. Wow. And he used to come visit me and see me a lot in England. And you know, there was something about him, so I started getting involved again. I was back. I was back into Unity Church, and I loved it. And I know many of you love James. I know you all love James that knew him. It was a wonderful experience, and the church was growing and thriving. But then the inevitable happened. We all knew it was going to happen. He got called to something greater. He got called, he's in Unity of Dallas now, a bigger platform. He's able to reach more people, to have a greater impact on more people. And we bless him, and we were sad, we mourned. In fact, we've been mourning his loss for 2 years now. And when James left, it was a hard time for this church, a hard time for many of us, for all of us. And you know, Russ, he stepped up to the plate. He took the job that nobody else wanted. There was no one in this community who was willing to step up and take the position as spiritual leader of this community. So we made him our interim minister. You know, and he's entered into the Unity ministerial program, which he is continuing. He is going to be a fully licensed Unity minister, and he will have a Unity church somewhere. It won't be here, but it'll be somewhere. I guess it could be here again. I don't know. Who knows what the future holds. But you know, Russ, and then we made him our spiritual leader. We made him the full-fledged spiritual leader. Again, you know, because hoping that would help revitalize and re-energize the congregation here. Because we were suffering. You know, so many people, after James left, there was so much hurt. There was so much confusion, torn, mixed feelings. Then there was some anger about it, too. There was perhaps some blaming going on. And I'm not going to judge. You know, we just all had our own way of dealing with the experience. And none of it was wrong. It was just the way we dealt with it. But the fact is, whoever it was that came after James Buchanan was destined for failure as our spiritual leader. Because no one was going to live up to James Buchanan's presence in our minds. Not in my mind. And I don't know about yours. I won't speak for anybody else. But in my opinion, whoever followed James was destined for failure. And I don't think Russ failed. You know, Russ, he didn't fail. He succeeded. He got an opportunity and he took advantage of it. He gave it his all. He was 100% successful as our spiritual leader because he never quit. He never gave up. He walked away because he knew it was the best thing for Unity of Little Rock. His love for this community gave him the courage to walk away, to give us the opportunity. Thank you. To give us the opportunity to move on to the next lesson. And I want to say right now, and I want to declare, and this is where I want the applause, You know, it's not the end of the Russ era, the Russ Jackman era. No. The whole time that Russ has been here, we have now finally reached, and I'm going to declare right now, this is the end of the James Buchanan era. He is gone, it's over, and never again. It was not the Russ. And we have got to take that attitude. And you know, next week we're having our town meeting. You know, we got some big decisions to make, some big opportunities to make about what we're going to do as a congregation, which direction we're going to go. Now I want to share this. You know, after James left, we were all heartbroken. And I had been involved. I was doing more in the church and volunteering. But when Russ took over, I stepped up my participation because I wanted to be supportive of my dear friend. But I also began to really get back into the roots of unity teachings. And you know, one of the most powerful workshops I've done was last year, whenever I did Paul Hasselbeck's 12 Powers Workshop. And I'm telling you people, that is the strength and the power of unity principles. It's in these 12 powers: life, imagination, power, dominion, judgment or wisdom, understanding, zeal, as Pat so beautifully told us about this morning, elimination or, getting rid of the bad thoughts, faith, love, order, will, strength. And for this church to grow and to thrive, we have all got to delve into that and see how are we using those powers in our life today. Because they're neutral. These powers are neutral. Love is the power of desire. Desire is the power of love. And you can have too much desire. It can be lust and avarice and greed. You can have too little desire where there's apathy and non-caring. So we've got to find the balance. We have to find the balance of these 12 powers. And then I went to the prayer chaplains meeting and I got really tweaked and I saw the distinction between prayer and affirmative prayer. Because my way of praying was still praying to a God out there. See, I was still holding on to a remnant of the old Church of Christ God. That God's out there. Yeah, I'm one with God, but when I pray, dear God, please help me, I am one with God. Well, if I'm one with God, it's because he's separate. And this affirmative prayer is like praying that I am the power. You are the power. We are all the power. It's acknowledging the divinity in each and every one of us. That spark of life in each and every one of us. And that's the message I believe we need to present. When that new person walks in the door, when there is somebody out there like I was in 1994, lost and seeking and wondering, what's going on? Where do I go? When they come in, I want them to feel that they are amazing. Just like you are amazing. You are beautiful. Each and every one of you. You are loved. Each and every one of you. And if we can take that energy and take that awareness, if we can hold that space, this church will outgrow it in no time. We'll blow the walls out trying to fill it with people who are coming for what we have to offer. They need that affirmation. It's needed now more desperately than ever. I'm glad to be here. I am glad to be a part of Unity of Little Rock once again. You know what? I'm a unitic who also happens to be an anthroposophist. Or you could say I'm an anthroposophist who also happens to be a unitic. And maybe you're a Buddhist who also happens to be a unitic. Or maybe you're a Hindu. Or maybe you're a oneness blessing person who also happens to be a unitic. Or maybe you're a Reiki healing master who also happens to be a unitic. Or maybe you hold a space of nonviolent communication who happens to also be a unitic. You see, I believe that Unity Church embraces everybody. I believe you can be a good Catholic and be a unitic. I really do. You could be maybe even an agnostic, maybe even an atheist, and still be a good unitic. And it's that acceptance, that openness, that embracing love, that's what brought me to my second service. That's what I felt the first time. And that's what I feel today. I love you guys. I want you to know that. And thank you for letting me share. And I'm going to turn it over to our music team to hear more from them. Thank you. Yeah.
No, you can be up here too. Gather around and come on up. Come on up. We need
This just goes to show the power of practice is very important.
we're gonna be the Beatles up here. I'm Ringo.
I'm John.
No. You're Paul.
Oh, I'm Paul. John
No,
Paul.
you're George. George. Yes, you are.
Oh.
And I'm Ringo.
I do the white letters.
You guys do whatever you want. We're just going to get through
Travis, I went to one of the guys I used to go to Unity Church declared himself to be an atheist. So yes, it is possible to be an atheist and still attend a Unity Church and still get something out of it. So it doesn't matter what you believe.
4 old guys up on the stage is what we're calling.
Is this going to stay up?
We got to share the mic. Share the love, share the mic.
Share the love, share the mic. Yeah. Okay.
We don't have a boom mic.
Okay.
What would you do if I
Sing out of tune, would you
I can't see the
stand
chords,
up,
guys.
walk out on me? Look at.
Wait a minute.
Well,
I can't see the chords. I can't see the
Part
chords.
of practice is learning the chords.
Yeah, here we go.
We've got to take our glasses so that we...
Gotta take my glasses off.
what would you do if I couldn't play the chords?
Would you stand
Up
up
and walk out on me. And lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song. And I'll try not to sing out of key. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Oh, I get high with a little help from my friends. Oh, I get dry with a little help from my friends.
What do I see when I love is away?
Does it worry you to be alone?
How do I feel at the end of the day?
Are you sad because you're on your own?
Oh,
I get by with a little help from my friends. Oh, I get high with a little help from my friends. Oh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Do you need anybody? Yes.
I need somebody to love.
Could it be anybody?
Just want someone to love. Get high.
You believe in a love at first sight?
Yes, I'm certain that it happens all the time.
What do you see when you turn out the light?
I can't tell you, but I know that it's mine.
Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Oh, I get high with a little help from my friends. Oh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends.
Do you need anybody?
I need somebody to love.
Could it be anybody?
Want somebody to love.
Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Oh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Oh, I get
My friend.
Well, that was just.
The Fab Four, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Wow, I love it. All right, so we come now to the part of our service, which is probably the most important part, because we got to pay bills around here. So if you come on, go ahead and come forward and bring the baskets. The ushers are coming forth with the baskets, and y'all can go ahead and, well, come on up here, and we're going to bless this. I don't know how we're going to do this. We're going to. All right. So as you get your gift in hand and hold it in mind and heart, we're going to bless this for the support and the love that it brings to the congregation. And we do have to pay bills around here. We appreciate the heat. We have our blessing there, so if you will, say with me, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Amen.
Everybody can sing along with this as we're taking the offering. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. One more time. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. All that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Thank you.
All yours.
Okay. There's no cordless up here. Is there anything up there?
I just grabbed the mic and
So for our coming attractions,
Yes, coming attraction.
I have two special people that are going to add to my announcements. First, Pat Walzer wanted to say something.
I just wanted to say that Friday night, the third Friday of every month, we have the Sounds of Unity. And I know it's a horribly rainy night, but for those of you who did not come, you missed a wonderful, wonderful experience. You are put one of the songs on for the man who came and shared it. And Laura Lynn and Justin are always wonderful, and they brought us a new song. But they bring in other towns, and the gentleman that they brought in Friday night, Sandy and I kind of were flipping a coin whether we were going to come or not. And we knew that God kicked us in the butt because it was an experience. So is Sandy. This man has an awesome voice, and we want to try and that. Yes, Justin, Ashley.
Dustin.
He sang songs from Halloween to Thriller to Disney to show music, and it was wow.
And I do know that Sandy is getting in touch with him, and we're thinking about doing a family concert because she said he would appeal to all ages. Maybe like a Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock concert, so that everybody, all ages, would enjoy hearing from him. So she is going to be contacting Dustin about coming back to do that. So we're very grateful for that. Next Sunday is our town hall meeting. We're going to have an abbreviated service from 10:30 to 11. Jeannie McGee and Tam are working on the what that service looks like. But Jerry would like to talk to you about the potluck. We are having potluck next week.
So we're going to make it very simple. I'm going to bring some sandwiches and then making a vegan chili with gluten-free, so hopefully that'll cover a lot of the bases. Feel free to do something simple that you don't worry about cooking or anything like that. I think you can bring some orange and black chips with some salsa and
I'm
wearing my Halloween. I'm wearing my Halloween shirt too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
very simple, but there will be food. if you don't have time or whatever, that's fine too. We just want to do it.
Yeah.
And what Jeannie had announced last week, because she will be running the meeting, is that we'll have a service from 10:30 to 11. The town hall meeting will start in here. We'll go from 11 to 12. We will then stop, go have potluck. The meeting can continue in there while we're eating, but it by no means is going to end right then. But she knows that people will get hungry, and we don't want anybody to miss out. I've also heard that it's going to be on Zoom. The meeting will be available, so those that are not able to attend will be able to participate via Zoom. I'm not well versed in that. I just know that that is going to be one of the options.
Absolutely.
Questions, answers, and ideas are welcome.
And I want to just follow, with Jeannie last week. I think her message was so important that, for the remainder of this year, we really need to come together as a community. We got to get our bearings, get our feet on the ground, if you will, so we can know where we're going to go, because we are attracting our right and perfect minister. And so we've got to get our consciousness in this space, because whoever it is we're attracting to Unity of Little Rock, this is a wonderful opportunity for a Unity minister to come here and to grow. It's time for Unity to explode in this city. This Little Rock's too big for us to have a small it's time to grow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. And it's time.
Well, and also, one more thing.
Yes.
Pat will be available for prayer support, and as our prayer chaplain today. So if you've never had the chance to have Pat pray with you, I say come do it. It's a very special experience. So.
And in honor of that, Pat would love it, as also the other prayer chaplains, is that immediately after the service, please go into the community room so that this place could be set aside for those who would like to do some one-on-one prayer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now.
Now it's time to circle up.
Yeah.
Travis, you want to lead that?
I can. All right, let's say our statement of being together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth and eternal